Hey everyone, welcome back to Cars Complex, your go-to channel for all things automotive. Today we're diving into the heart of American engineering and reliability. From muscle cars to family SUVs, we're counting down the top 8 most reliable American car brands of all time. The US is a country known for its love of cars, whether it's a muscle car from the 60s or an SUV or truck from the 90s. Americans love their vehicles down to every generation. But what about cars that are the most reliable? The following list is a ranking of the 8 most reliable US cars. Of course, there are many factors that go into determining which cars are the most reliable. We considered average repair costs, the number of recalls because of safety issues, and how often cars have problems with things like leaking oil or failing electrical systems. Unsurprisingly, in this list will be a number of Ford models. So let's take a look. Kicking things off at number 8, we've got the Jeep Cherokee XJ. Now let's be real here. Modern Jeeps might not always scream dependability, but this classic Cherokee XJ oh yeah, it's practically a legend in the reliability game. Modern Jeeps aren't particularly noted for their long-term dependability, but it's fair to point out they are designed to get banged around off-road, and that's what many people do with them. However, if you're willing to go used and ignore modern safety equipment, the classic Cherokee XJ that was in production from 1983 through to 2001 is almost legendary for its dependability. It was also the precursor to the modern SUV and crossover, with its unibody chassis, and the first Jeep model to be offered with two-wheel drive. As well as a sturdy yet lightweight frame, the Cherokee XJ also comes from a time when Jeep's 6-cylinder engines were close to being bulletproof. It was popular for fleet use due to its utility, dependability, and cheaper running costs than heavier 4x4 models. Next up, we've got the Chevrolet Malibu. Now, it might not be the flashiest ride on the block, but hey, it's like that comfy pair of sneakers you just can't part with. With its no-frills reliability, it's the kind of car that gets the job done without any fuss. You'll have noticed by now that dependable cars don't tend to be exciting cars. The Chevrolet Malibu doesn't get the same sparkling reviews as its contemporaries, but still exists as a comfortable appliance car. With the Impala gone, Chevrolet currently only has 2 fleet passenger cars, the Spark and the Malibu. According to Chevrolet, the Malibu is sold in nearly 100 countries on 6 continents, which probably explains why it hasn't been axed in the US, where crossovers are now king. However, new or used, the Malibu makes a compelling choice for dependability and low running costs if you want to buy American. Now, let's talk luxury with the Lincoln Continental. Sure, it's not your average Joe when it comes to reliability, but hey, it's got that touch of class that sets it apart. It's like cruising in a cloud, with just enough horsepower to put a smile on your face. While the Continental doesn't quite dominate reliability rankings, it's more consistently highly ranked than most on this list. As it's a luxury car, the Continental is all but guaranteed to need a refresh of suspension parts later. However, on a luxury car, that should be filed under routine maintenance, as you don't tend to get a plush ride without the use of softer bushings. And on air suspension models, the main components are made of rubber. Coming in hot at number 5, we've got the Chevrolet Impala. This bad boy has been turning heads since the 80s, and for good reason. With its rock-solid reliability and millions of miles under its belt, it's like the unsung hero of American sedans. According to a study of the millions of Impalas sold from the 1980s to 2018, around 1.7% had gone over 200,000 miles. That doesn't sound like a lot, but compared with just about every other sedan, that's an amazing metric. It shouldn't surprise us that the Impala was reliable right up until it was discontinued in 2020, as it was an important part of GM's fleet lineup. It wasn't only used as rental cars or company cars by sales reps traveling the country, but also by state and federal employees, including police departments. Ah, the Dodge Charger. Now here's a ride that's as reliable as it is exhilarating. Some model years are better than others when it comes to the Dodge Charger, but from 2018 until now, it's all good in the reliability ratings, at least according to J.D. Power's Consumer Verified Ratings. Plus, with that sleek design and powerhouse performance, what's not to love? The 2020 to 2022 models were all rated 89 out of 100 for quality and reliability, and the 2018 to 2019 models aren't far behind at 81/100. We've seen plenty of reports of the 4-door sports sedan hitting 300,000 miles, and as it's over a decade into the current generation, Dodge has had plenty of time to iron out the earlier problems. Those earlier problems mainly affected the 2006 through 2014 model years, starting with engine failure as a common issue in 2006 and front suspension issues through later years. Frankly, we just wouldn't consider a pre-2018 model, although there are happy customers out there. Let's talk about the Ford Fusion, folks. This gem might have left the production line, but its legacy lives on. From its peak as one of Ford's best-selling models to its rock-solid dependability, it's like saying goodbye to an old friend. The Ford Fusion went out of production in 2020, as Ford had worked out the mid-size sedan segment wasn't profitable enough anymore. At its peak, the Fusion was one of Ford's best-selling models and proved itself remarkably reliable. Rumor has it a Ford Fusion Active Wagon will make it to the US, but if so, expect something lifted and all-wheel drive, along the lines of the Subaru Outback. If you don't mind losing a little trunk space in order to get better mileage, the Fusion Hybrid also has solid dependability ratings. That means picking one up with a few miles on it would be a good bet. Now, if you're in the market for something new, durable, and all-American, look no further than the Buick Invision. I mean, Buick practically wrote the book on reliability, and the Invision is no exception. It's like driving into the future with confidence. Who often comes up in reports as America's most reliable brand? That's an eye-raising claim, but Buick has trimmed down its lineup drastically and is able to focus more on quality control, except for the Enclave, it seems. We recently featured the Invision on our list of underrated cars you can buy new in 2022, and its durability ratings were absolutely an ingredient on that recommendation. And finally, taking the top spot on our list is none other than Ford Crown Victoria. Talk about a true American icon. This bad boy has been serving up reliability since '91, and it's still going strong. From police patrols to cross-country road trips, it's like the Energizer Bunny of cars. It just keeps going and going. If you're specifically looking for a used car, you're in luck because the benchmark for American reliability is Ford's Crown Victoria sedan. It entered the market in 1991 and was retired from retail sales in 2008, but the factory continued producing them until 2012. Most famously, the Crown Victoria was, and in some cases still is, used commonly as a police patrol vehicle. Its body-on-frame construction and standard V8 engine with rear-wheel drive made the Crown Victoria a sturdy and dependable vehicle that could withstand a lot of abuse. Similarly, the Crown Victoria was also pressed into service as a taxi vehicle. However, our favorite tale of its reliability is from a publisher that stopped flying around the country following the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Instead, he drove his Crown Vic all over the US, as it was easier than dealing with airports, and to the tune 465,015 miles. He wrote a book called The Car I Couldn't Wear Out and still used the original spark plugs, although he did have to replace a wheel bearing. Well, there you have it. Gearhead's the top 8 most reliable American car brands of all time. Did your favorite make the cut? Let us know in the comments below.
And don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with your fellow car enthusiasts.
Until next time, keep on cruising.